Good morning and welcome back to the 6 a.m. Club where we start our day inspired. We are already in February. Can you believe it? Yes, new month, new chapter. I like to use that analogy always. And a new mantra. We are going to continue our saga of mindset mantras. These are very simple mantras, but you know what? Developing any kind of mindset takes a little bit of practice. So I thought I would give you a few more to support you in developing that strong mindset in 2023. So let's dive into today's mantra, which says, I trust myself and recognize my potential. I trust myself and I recognize my potential. And this mantra is all about facing our fears. You know, in order to love your life, you must say farewell to your comfort zone. I truly believe that. If you want to love your life, you need to step outside of your comfort zone. And you need to face fears that can hold you back from realizing your full potential. You need to trust yourself when you're faced with fear and do it the best that you can. That's all that we can do. When we choose to take ourselves out of our comfort zone in full knowledge that the cost of doing nothing often is greater than the risk that comes with taking that bold action. Each time that you try something new or that something seems difficult, you start to build your confidence. You learn to trust yourself, and that is priceless. This gives you a chance to test your abilities and to discover new resources and new abilities that you didn't know you had. You need to face your fears if you want to go and create a life that you want. You know, this quote reminds me of a book, and I will put the link on the show notes of the podcast episode so you can check it out. And maybe you already have read it or seen it. It's been a New York Times bestseller. But the book is Everything is Figureable from Maria Forleo. And this book talks about how you can figure out anything, right? A lot of times the reason why we don't take the action, the reason why we don't pursue the life that we want is fear. Fear of not knowing how to do it, fear of failure, fear of falling, right? We are full of fear, and that stops us from stepping outside of our comfort zone. Because the thing is, whatever is outside of our comfort zone, it's unknown, it's uncertain, right? It's ambiguous sometimes. And we are afraid of what we can see or what we don't know or what we haven't experienced yet. But let me ask you this. When was the last time that you went through something that was hard and challenging, that was definitely outside of your comfort zone? I bet that you figure it out. If you are listening to this podcast today, is because you did figure it out. Maybe you are in the middle of that situation right now, and it feels like there's no way out. But if you and I were to go and grab a coffee a few months from now, you will be telling me how you figure it out. When we're faced with the need, we always figure things out one way or another. Sometimes it takes us a little bit more time than others. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging than others. But if you live by this mantra, I trust myself and I recognize my potential, you will go outside of your comfort zone knowing that you can trust in your ability to figure it out. And in the process of figuring it out, you will grow and step up to your potential. So let me ask you something. What would be different in your life if you would live by this mantra of I trust myself and I recognize my potential? How can you put in practice this week? What can you do this week to not only hear this mantra or maybe even repeat this mantra, but test this mantra? Live by this mantra. What is one situation that you're facing right now that you could use a little bit more trust on yourself? Believe me, if you decide to live up by this mantra, you will see that on the other side, things don't look that bad and that you're actually are a different person because you have stepped up to your potential. Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you here again next Monday for another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Take care.